Hello Libra, and welcome to your March 2019 Lenormand reading. I'm Jade with yesYesYes, and welcome back to the channel. For new people, welcome. We're going to use Mademoiselle Lenormand's cards. There are 36 cards. I'm going to do a very general Grand Tableau reading where we put out all of the cards. This is going to be for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. If you're interested, these are one of the most accurate readings I give. If you're interested in having a personal reading or just working with me in general, all of that information, my website information is in the box below, as well as the information on the card deck. And I'd love to hear if this reading resonates for you. At any time, feel free to drop a comment in the comments section or hit that thumbs up button. It helps the channel out so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to start with the Mike Dooley. I just want to get some overall flavors. Ooh, this is interesting. Earlier disappointments were just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. Okay, Libra. So earlier disappointments, let's see, anything that has left a mark, a negative mark, any resentments, let's let go of those things and just know that it's always gonna work out. Great stuff is coming your way. It's all working out. It just may be in a different way than you anticipated. Okay, so now I'm looking for one from Gabby Bernstein's deck. I love this. I love these. Oh. When I lean toward love, I am led. Lean into love, Libra. That was a lot of lalas. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I have pre-shuffled the deck, and we'll see where this story begins for the Libras. Okay. Where does this begin for Libra? Okay, I'm going to just call out the cards as they show up. The Park, the Whip, the Clouds, the Snake, Anchor, the Lily, the Book, and the Mountain, the Ring, the Stars, the Heart, the Ship, the Bouquet, the Rider, the Key, and the Coffin, the Birds, the Clover, the Stork, the Path, Dog, the House, the Tower, and the Mice, the Cross, the Sun, the Letter, the Fox, the Fish, the Bear, there's the Lady card, and the Tree. Okay, final, the Child, the Masculine card, the Scythe, and the Moon. Okay, all right, so first thing is, here's the masculine line. All of this is the past, all of that is the future. Feminine line, all of this is the past, and then this is what's going to happen in the future. Of course, this is general, so let's keep in mind. I do want to do a count and see if there's any cards in their own suit, or own house. Give me a moment. Okay, interesting. So I just did the Gemini reading. Same card was in its suit, or in its house. I don't know why I say suit, but so, and because you're both air signs, the challenge is, because this month, March, there is a Mercury retrograde. So the challenge here, this is talking about revising the way in which you communicate. Look at communicating in a totally different way. And because this month will be challenging for communication, so maybe instead of being so decisive and clear with your words, you might have to be decisive and clear in a different way. And I don't know if this reading will give you that insight or not. We will see. The other thing is, what I was telling the Geminis is that you're very clear about communicating, but do you take the moment to feel through what you feel before you communicate? And that could be another thing, is that it's really feeling into what you're about to communicate. So keep that in mind and in heart for yourselves, Libra. And give me one moment here. And now we're going to get started. Okay, Libra. So this first line, and again, we're talking past stuff. So there was a repetition with community, something in the community. Maybe there was you took a beating in the community. Some type of community event might have kind of whipped you. There was some confusion, and somebody who wasn't on your side, somebody who's not working against you, spoke up. They said something. Now, what that did was it created some stability for you in a way, because you kind of lashed out against it, right? Like it came up and you're like, all right, let's deal with this. So you kind of dug in, and you dug in a way that kind of gave more roots to the situation. You dug in a way that will create longevity for you in the long run. I don't know what that is, but some information came out, and it again, feminine, here we are. That information, it might have been a long road. There might have been some delay to this information that's coming out ultimately about this situation, but there was a beating in front of the community. It's not like the community took you in front of them and then beat you physically, but I just feel like there was something that happened in a very public way. It could have been on social media, where it was like, you know, Libra has been bad. We got to do something about Libra. It created some confusion. Somebody spoke up, said something. This is what's going on for the masculine actually right now. And then the masculine, you're just about to make that change where you dig in and you're actually creating something long-term for yourself. And that the truth is coming out. It may come out in it may take some time for it to come out. The other thing is that the truth might be that there is it might be a longer road than you first anticipated. Like you might have to go back and deal with this issue again in a different way, okay? I also forgot to mention I am dog sitting. Kenji likes to be a part of the readings, but I actually have to set him out in a different room, so you might hear him scratching at the door. So I apologize for that. All right, second line here. I loved this second line until I got to the end. So let's talk about it. In the past, we had some commitment to perhaps a destined love, okay? That's literally what I'm looking at here. So this is in the past for both, actually. So feminines and masculines, go back to when you felt like there was a true commitment. You felt like it was going to be everything. You were on the journey. It seemed like everybody was blessing you. And actually right now, masculine, you might be feeling this. You might be feeling like you're on the journey, that you're getting blessings from your family, blessings from the community. Things are going your way. It feels like it's successful, and then something changes it, okay? Now, what's changing it in the future? Let me just tell you. And right now, feminine, you're right in the place where you're feeling like you're in a successful place. And then something's going to change it. Something's going to transform it. And what's transforming it is some nervousness, and it's going to be either connected to family or your health or an idea of legacy. So what that might mean is you might not have had that conversation about children, and you might need to have that conversation about if you want children, if you don't want children, having children physically or adopting or whatever. So that's what this change is going to bring about. There's anxiety underlying that has to do with health, family, or longevity, like legacy, okay? So there's always the possibility of changing anything, and if this is not resonating, by all means, please move on. But if it's resonating, that's what the cards are telling me. That's what that change is derived from. So just keep it in mind. Maybe talk about it now versus waiting for it. It doesn't have to be a tower moment if you don't want it to be. And again, we're talking about communicating in different ways. So maybe instead of waiting for something to come up, address it before it even becomes a thing. Okay, so let's move on to this third line. We've got some, and this is the past, we've got some talks that seemed to be quite beneficial, soft, maybe lovely. This might have been between, the two in the relationship when you first met. You know, this would be like pillow talk or something like that. Talks of new beginnings, right? Talks of let's do this together. Maybe there was the need to talk about the children. Maybe there's some kind of connection to children. But ultimately, here we are, masculine in the present line. There's a choice, and you're in a place where you have to make a choice, and your choice is going to be made towards loyalty of your home, and it might even be, you know, your work if you work for a corporation or a larger system. So, and this could mean like an apartment building. It's a really funny thing. And this could be your friend, right? So you might have made a choice about, you know, making a choice to support your friend, because there might be some issue that your friend is having. So that could be, again, what this issue is, where there's a nervousness. Your friendship, this loyalty, it also might be like a brotherhood type of thing. So that could be that family issue that comes up where this nervousness, this anxiety is connected to. So if there's a relationship here that's happening for you, Libra, and it's been something that's felt really good, but there's somebody in the picture who is like a brother, who's like a brother, or even an actual brother, what's happening is that the masculine is needing to make a choice towards that brother because of needing to help. What is looking like what might end all of this, okay? So I would suggest talking about it. It's way in the future for the masculine, but the feminine, you're feeling it right now, okay? So I feel like the feminine knows what's going on. Let's do this. This is one of those, like, this is how it is. So sometimes these readings are like that. Final line here, we have, it's interesting, there's a burden, some type of even, yeah, it's a burden with the success in the past, okay? And it might have been derived from some type of contract, derived from choosing to go at things in your own way, specifically for the masculine. This is on the feminine line, though, so there's some kind of burden that you might have felt where you felt like you needed to do things in your own way so that you could financially be sufficient, independent, abundant, but there is this bear that's more of the energy of the feminine. It's very aggressive, very territorial, and the feminine Libra, what I'm feeling in this reading here is that she has the authoritative role. She might be the boss. She might be an entrepreneur, same line, and that you have had some success in the past, but right now, in choosing that, there's some things that have brought you to a place of feeling the burden of that. And that might have been even what this was talking about with the community connection that you might have been blasted for in the past because you chose to do things on your own. But on the other side here, what I'm actually seeing is that it's going to be quite healthy ultimately. It will work out ultimately. It's going to be a slow path. There will be some transformation that will occur, and it won't feel very good, but that tree being there, because it's a card of family, because it's a card of, you know, making roots and also growth. I feel like there's a lot of growth that the feminine Libra is going through by making that choice if she is in fact working for herself. Now, masculines, if this is your future, this might be where you're finding your feminine is by choosing to do this road on your own. And maybe you two are colleagues, maybe you know, meet each other out in the I don't know, like at an event where, you know, entrepreneurs might be, right? So very interesting, Libra. All right, let's talk about this last line here. The masculine might have a child, or this could also mean that the masculine is younger, or that the masculine is immature. Now, what I'm actually seeing is that there's that change that happens. So either of those things, if there's some type of change that happens that brings the masculine specifically to a more emotional level. And I don't know what will level you out, masculine. It doesn't tell me that. It might be, if it is a connection with a child, that child brings you to a more emotional place. It might be that you know, instead of choosing that love, and that flips over there, and you're choosing this money, which might be connected to that loyalty, then you get to a place of feeling into your emotions even more, right? Because you made a choice that you thought was best for one situation, but actually emotionally you're in a place where you have to reflect upon it even more. Okay, now the path from the masculine to the feminine here, it's work cards and money. Okay, so money and work are really connected. The masculine's more ingenious, the feminine is much more in an aggressive or a authoritative role, and money is really what's connecting you two. If you have had this relationship in the past where everything felt really good and then it just flips, address it now. Why not? Why not address it now? If it's feeling funky, right? If this is ringing true, if there's any kind of resonance for you, if it's feeling funky, I would just address it. Bring it out in the open. Why not? Especially because Mercury is going into retrograde. If you are seeing this during Mercury in retrograde, feel through it before talking about it. So wait until April to talk about it and go through the feelings of it first. And that could be another reason why that letter came up. This is a very like cut and dry reading that sometimes what the Lenormand spread can be. So here we go. We're talking about earlier disappointment. We're just rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. So if in fact this disappointment that comes from this, it's creating more space for something better to come along. So if this is a community issue, you know, maybe there was some shame that happened about, you know, saving your face from that, something good is going to come. Something good is coming. You're going from, I mean, you're in a community place and then you're going to a place of health and healing and family even. So it's a great journey that you're making this month, Libra. When I lean towards love, I am led. Lean into your feelings this month, not necessarily relying on your words. And it's okay to be silent. It's okay to be silent. It's okay to allow. I had to let the dog in. It's okay to allow your emotions to come up to a place that might be uncomfortable. And journal. That's a really great way of communicating differently, is journaling. So that's what I have for you this month, Libra. I hope it makes sense. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear if this resonates for you, or hit that thumbs up button if you like it. And for now, I'm going to send you all my love.